than the sacrifice of Christ, was there? It was real blood. And that blood did something. So, yes, it was literal. But was it literal? When Paul speaks about the blood of the covenant and being justified by his blood, was he speaking about the blood as a literal thing? Or was he using the literal blood of Christ as it was shed upon the cross as a metaphor for something that produces in us an understanding by which God can have favor upon us when he finally judges us at the judgment seat? So, this is where the problem gets really serious. In the Australian reunion, there is a composite of writings from many brethren who were involved in the efforts to bring Priscilla together in New England, Australia at the time, preceded the initial efforts in this country by a little bit. But in the Green Book, Isaac Collier said it took us 30 years to figure out what was wrong with the teaching of J.J. Anderson. When I read that, I put the book down, I took a deep breath, and I went, Isaac Collier, us, John Carter, or whoever the people were at the time, it took us 30 years to figure out what was wrong. There's a point here. This doctrine is so subtle and so complex and so confusing that very few people actually understand it. That's why when I read a little bit in the front that was a premise, and I said, does anybody in here think he can explain it? I don't think Ken even raised his hand. How long has Ken been in the truth? 60, 70, 80, 90 years or whatever? I don't know. I don't see that many young guys here either. So you can see this is a really confusing doctrine. Well, that is going to be a point that comes back to us over and over again. If the doctrine is that confusing, and that few people can it took Isaac Collier 30 years to figure out what was wrong with it, well, that explains, on one hand, how it can create a division that lasts for 100 years, and on the other hand, it will explain something else to us as central brethren that we need to understand if we're going to bring our brethren in the unbended community in unity with us, those that want to be. We need to understand this point. The point is, this is an impossibly difficult doctrine to understand. And that means that should have an effect on our perception of those brethren who seek unity with us. Like brethren in Norfolk. And we're going to talk about that in the next part. We didn't understand this doctrine. I didn't understand it after it was explained to me. I didn't understand it really until my dad later on put it in a nutshell for me, and I kind of got it then. And I didn't really understand it until I read the pamphlet and kind of thought about it and reflected on it in depth. But I've heard brothers try to explain it in reunion meetings, like in an ASU when it took place about 10 years ago in Baltimore. And that they had to kind of put suction, they had to draw a vacuum on their intellect in order to get in here. And that's that kind of, all that just to say, yep, we understand this. It took 30 years. And then he pinpointed what the problem was. It teaches justification of sin without faith. So this is in the Australian unity after the Green Book. I have since come to agree with that entirely, and I know the seriousness of that, because justification from sin without faith, if it's based on something like animal sacrifice or circumcision or even dunking under water, is formalism. Raise your hand if you know what formalism is. Some people do. It's a kind of an esoteric term. You don't need to know what it is, but it's the problem with the priests of Israel in Malachi. They thought that if they threw an animal on the fire, they were righteous. That's not what made them righteous. It was what they should have understood in the destruction of that animal flesh that would make them righteous. Because they would have identified with God's judgments on animal flesh. It burns it up. It can't survive them. But instead, they took an external law and a ritual, and they made the ritual more important than the religion. They put the animal on the fire. Voila, I'm righteous. And that's what formalism is. That's what Calvinism is. Once you're saved by grace, you're always saved. If you can do something like walk up to the front as they play Just As I Am and accept the Lord in your heart, that's a ritual. That doesn't produce the conditions that we learn from God, from His Word, by which he wants to save us. He wants to save us because we understand something about our nature in relation to his righteousness, and what he tried to teach Job, we don't try to justify ourselves, because if we do, we condemn him. We justify him, and we agree with the law that it is good when it condemns us, and that puts us in a position to be humble with God. So the point there is, in all the sort of the spiritual things that we understand doctrinally there, is that formalism is very serious. But is that the problem in the unbelieving community? It's another question you raise. The doctrine has a serious problem with formalism because it teaches justification from sin without faith. And you know who put his finger on this? In the debate. For Roberts, end of the first night. The debate was 2 nights with J.J. Andrews. End of the first night, he said to J.J. Andrews, what is it that justifies us? Well, he knew that if he said faith, he would lose his faith. He also knew that if he said baptism or circumcision or any kind of ritual, that he would also lose the debate. So he didn't say anything. He just stood there and stared at Robert Roberts got angry with him. And he started yelling at him. And he started to open the second, he had to open the second night with an apology, which I think set up a condition in which people were reading what they felt instead of what they were hearing. And this did not help the debate, and the debate didn't solve the problem as a result. But he was on to the same point. If you follow the logic of what the blood of the covenant teaches, it teaches justification from sin without faith, and that is not scriptural. That's an error, because we are justified by faith. So this is the way this goes. It's legal justification by a shift in laws. The reason goes like this. We're justified by being ceremoniously related to Christ's sacrifice. That is by being baptized. That ceremoniously relates us. That means that when we're baptized, we have to change. When we're baptized, we have to change in status. This puts us under the law of the Spirit of life. Circumcision or baptism puts us under that law, where we are no longer under the law of sin and death, and therefore no longer condemned by the sin of Adam. For those who are under the law of sin and death, Adamic death can never come to an end. So that was where he drew a conclusion about resurrectional responsibility. If you're under the law of sin and death, your Adamic condemnation puts you in the grave, and you can never, that condemnation can never end, even in a physical resurrection and another subsequent judgment and condemnation. So, because it's a condemnation that is complete and fulfilled in the first death. All right, so why would I say that this is essentially what he means? Well, I'll quote you what he says on page 41 in the synopsis of things to be understood from his thesis. He says, in fifth, Christ's death was the only effective justification from sin, and that consequently, none can be justified from Adamic condemnation unless brought into association with Christ's death by a ceremony related thereto. Is that really what Paul taught? That water identifies us with Christ. Yes, we understand the metaphor of cleansing. We understand that third and resurrection. But it's the understanding that identifies us with Christ. It's in the faith. It's not in the water. Water is a very important part of it. But the water is the part that symbolizes the reality of it. If you shift the emphasis and make the ceremony more important than its meaning, that's formalism. Formalism is a dangerous idea in the life of a follower of Christ. So he continues, 6, animals, and this is a quote verbatim, animal sacrifice, circumcision, and baptism, being representations of Christ's death, have been appointed in conjunction with that death as a means of justification from sin. You see why that's what Collier said it teaches justification from sin without faith? Because he's talking about animal sacrifice, circumcision, and baptism. These are things all external to the understanding of faith. They're not internal, where faith is where the law of God in the new covenant is written upon the heart. He then says, 7, the principle of justification is embodied in the law of the Spirit of life. So, if the principle of justification is embodied in the law, then that too is another departure. It's not embodied in the law, it's embodied in faith. Faith comes from a law being written upon our heart. That law of the Spirit of life is acceptance of God's righteousness in the context of condemnation of animal flesh. All of these, I know that's true. Otherwise, how did Christ be put on the cross? He never sinned. But he was, like David says, he was born and conceived in iniquity because he was a human being. So that law was in him. It was what produced all those temptations and all points, like as we are. And it was why he could justify, agreeing with his Father, that obedience unto death would be the right way to express the righteousness of God. If we think about the importance of that in bringing us to a condition of humility before God, we can fully understand why God would require this of us, why he would create the sacrifice to make the impact that it does on our hearts and cut us to the heart as much as it did those people of his time. So to look at this in Scripture, what he says, the way this gets connected to the resurrection is in Zechariah and Hebrews. Two specific references to the blood of the covenant. He says in Zechariah, as speaking of Christ, as for thee also by the blood of thy covenant, I have set forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein there is no water. So if you looked at that, you would say that you could create a theology that says that the prisoners are set forth out of the pit because of the blood of the covenant. And then tie that to all the theology that he introduced in his pamphlet. And then it says in Hebrew, now this lofty statement, now the God of peace that brought again from the dead our Lord Jesus, that great shepherd of the sheep, through the blood of the everlasting covenant. It sounds like he's connecting the resurrection of Jesus to a law that came into effect as a result of his having shed blood on the cross, ratifying the covenant of God. So this is what I believe this means. I'm not getting too heavy on this. Jesus was raised from the grave. When Paul speaks about the blood of the covenant, he's speaking about the life of the covenant. That life was the life of Christ. He's speaking about the righteousness and obedience of Christ. So when he says that he was raised, that shepherd of the sheep, raised through the blood of the covenant, he's saying Jesus was raised because of his obedient life. The blood of the covenant was obedience unto death. It's the obedience, not the blood that he's talking about, in other words. That life is the basis of the covenant. So if we scan Scripture, this is what it says about what justifies us. You cannot be justified by law. Well, did we just read it? You cannot be justified by law. A man is justified by faith. And justified by faith, we have peace with God. No man is justified by the law. The just shall live by faith. Being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved. By his blood and by faith describes his action and our response. So why blood? A lot of people say, and this is a question that J. Andrew wrestled with, why do you have to die a violent death? What is blood all about? Why the blood of animals? Why the blood of Christ? To me, it's very simple. And it's expressed in priests sprinkling blood on people. This is what it says in Isaiah 52. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently, shall be exalted and extolled, be very high. As many were as astonished at thee. His vision was so marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. So shall he sprinkle many nations. So the same thing happens with the sacrifice of Christ on a global level for 2,000 years as what happened in the wilderness, in the congregation in the wilderness when the animal was killed and the blood was sprinkled upon those people in front of the priests. It's found in this word in another translation below where it says, so shall he startle many nations. Just the violent act of an animal dying for sacrifice, and especially the Son of God dying on the cross, just as it startles us, it wakes us up. It was meant to be sprinkled upon our hearts, metaphorically speaking, and startle us into action. Why blood? Because it wakes us up. What has the effect of that sprinkling upon the nations been for 2,000 years? Kings shall shut their mouths because of him. For that which has not been told, then they shall see. And that which they have not heard, they shall understand. So, they did so. That's why blood. In other words, the shedding of blood is meant to wake people up. Call them to faith. Did it affect you? There was a young man that helped me with my house, and he came back to my door 4 months later. He said, I want to come in and talk about the Bible. I said, please come in. He sat down and he started to cry. I said, why are you crying, Jason? He said, it's the sacrifice of Christ. And I said, yes, it is. But we don't have time to talk about it today. Because if we come back every night, every week on Thursday night, we'll talk about it as long as we need to for us to really fully appreciate the sacrifice of Christ. There was a young man who was startled in his teens by the sacrifice of Christ. Woke him up, called him to faith. He's baptized now, and a vital member of our ecclesia. About 5 or 10 minutes.
5 minutes.
Rush through this. There's one other point I want to make about accountability before we close. This goes into resurrectional responsibility, but it's in the unamended community. This is not appreciated because it's not been focused on. My father showed me these verses as a result of the conversation he had when he was a young man with Brother Russell from the Jersey City Ecclesia. My father at the time was dating Brother Russell's daughter, and so he was from the unamended community. She was amended, and so Brother Russell said, invited my father over when he was about 18, and he sat down, and Brother Russell said, you know what this whole resurrection responsibility and rejection thing is all about? And Dan said, no, I really don't. I'll show you. Turn to Deuteronomy 18:18. I will raise up, speaking of Christ, them up a prophet among their brethren like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. That's the prophecy of Christ. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require of him. When? What's the first principle that we believe that points to the time when God will require this of anyone? There's only one first principle, and that's the judgment seat of Christ. So there's another one, Mark 16, 15 and 16. And he said unto them, go into all the world and preach the gospel to the whole creation. He who believes and is baptized will be saved. But he who does not believe will be condemned. Again, the New Testament version of the same point. When? It's occurs for judgment. So you tell me, is knowledge a basis of responsibility? It is. In order that these people be held accountable who have rejected Christ, who understood it, who knew about it, and rejected it at the preaching of his word, will be held accountable at the judgment seat. That to me is plain and simple. So the future judgment seat of Christ is the only event spoken of in Scripture where rejection of Christ's word is required of someone resulting in condemnation. All right, now we're done with that. All right, take another deep look. Those are the machinations of the time. But where do they exist? Wouldn't it be important to understand that brethren are separated from us, that they are separated on the basis of a doctrine that is clearly wrong, at least in my understanding, as I've addressed it today? Wouldn't it be important to understand that this doctrine is held in order to hold the separation? And if it's not held, why are they separated? What is it that is holding them back? Those are the things that we would be looking at for the rest of the day today. But I can tell you where this doctrine is not found in the unamended community. It is not present at all in the understanding of our young people who are baptized. It doesn't come up in their interviews. It's not related to their understanding of why they want to be baptized and asking I've asked 100 people in interviews over the past 40 years, why do you want to be baptized? And they give all sorts of answers, but in nowhere do I hear anything related to this doctrine. And this has been when Norfolk was largely an unmeasured Christian. It's not a newly baptized converts, because if you laid this doctrine on them, they wouldn't be able to understand it. It's impossible. It's nearly impossible for seasoned Bible students to get their mind wrapped around it, let alone newly baptized converts. It's not there. It's not in people who are never exposed to them. And there are a lot of ecclesias and families and places where this is never brought up. They never think about it. It's not there. It's not in people who can't grasp the concept. They don't have a problem with false doctrine they can't understand. It's not in brethren who avoid disputes because they don't want to get into the argument of it. They know better than to get into disputes about words and controversies because it's specifically commanded by Paul not to do so. Some people put a big stiff arm up when the idea of a dispute comes up and they say, not going to be a part of it. This is a lot of people. These are brothers and sisters in Christ who should be in fellowship with us. And they're trapped by circumstances. We were in Norfolk by this fellowship. So unless the doctrinal root is resolved, or some kind of provision, I have allowance here, but I think provision is a better word, because provision is a godly spirit. It's a Christ-like spirit. God made a provision for us when we were unworthy. So can we not, as central brethren, find a provision for those in whose hearts this doctrine is not found? Because if we can't do that, they will remain separated. And all the agony of our disparity will travel with us from generation to generation to generation until our Lord returns. Who knows who will be responsible for